Good evening. My name is Chris Mitchell, and I'm going to be discussing vaccinations and how they can help save lives and the impact that vaccinations have on our lives. So to start off with, did you know that before there was a vaccine for measles, nearly everyone in the U.S. got the measles, which is not a fun thing to get. If you know anything about measles and another vaccine that we get that people don't even think about is for diphtheria, something that if you haven't read up on the vaccinations and the immunizations, you probably have no idea what it is, but in 1921 alone, more than 15,000 people died from diphtheria in the U.S. One of the concerns I know is that vaccinating causes autism. When this first came to light, I was just as concerned as any other parent, as I have two children, and it was led to a ingredient called thimerosal was mainly to blame, is what people were saying. And the research I did, according to the CDC, there's absolutely no proof that this or any other ingredient causes autism. There is no evidence to support that whatsoever. So the next one, another one of those things that people like to tell me, I used to run shot lines, and they used to tell me that every time they get the flu shot, they get the flu. And I think it's important for people to understand what the full-blown flu actually is, and what their symptoms would be if they actually had the full-blown flu. And the flu shot doesn't necessarily prevent you from getting the flu, it just lessens the severity. It builds up that immunity, helps you fight with those white blood cells in there, helps you fight the flu. You have a little bit of a head start there. So if you truly had the flu, you would likely have symptoms including fevers, chills, aching muscles, headache, fatigue, weakness, cough, nasal congestion. Everybody has had some form of this in one way or the other, but according to the Mayo Clinic, those are full-blown flu. You're going to have every single one of those. You're not going to have one here, one there, little headache, little this. If you actually have the flu, you are out. Normally for at least a week you're laying in bed, so I don't think that's really anything that anyone wants, is to be laying in bed for a week. I know a few days of laying around always is nice, but then it gets old. So another one of the concerns is vaccinations do not work. Vaccines are a defensive measure, and being such, it is necessary to understand that even the best defense requires support, just like any sport you may play. You may have the greatest defense in the world, but with no offense, you're not going to score. So this what I'm trying to get at is that a healthy lifestyle, along with proper nutrition, with vaccinating, will go a long way in keeping you and your family healthy. Before there were vaccines, there were a lot of people dying from preventable diseases that most of us haven't heard about. Diphtheria, measles killed people. The flu still kills people. In parts of the world where they don't have access to healthcare like we do here, people die from yellow fever, which is if you go to parts of the world like that, you will get a yellow fever vaccination. So we're lucky to have the opportunity to get access to vaccinations. So try and make sure you get out there and use those, especially for your kids. Vaccinations are an important part of being healthy. Without vaccines, I think our world would have a little bit different looking landscape. What I mean by that is there would be a lot more people dying from things that are 100% preventable. So that's what I'm hoping to get across here. Vaccines do and will continue to save lives. I think that there's this big debate right now. I just watched a debate last night between two doctors. One was for, one was against, and I think that if you're an adult and you decide not to vaccinate yourself, that's one thing. But when you do not decide to vaccinate your children, they are the ones who are most at risk. Young children and the elderly are the most at risk for getting diseases that are preventable and dying from them. So I hope you learned a little something today, and if you have any questions as usual, please feel free to email me at the class. Thank you very much. Bye.